conductor of the A&R movement, where he'll be talking about the future of A&R. With all of the changes that are going on, does that affect A&R, or is A&R the same as it's always been? That's the question we'll be asking Ron in a second. And Ron's coming to us from Los Angeles. There he is.
Testing,
Ron.
testing.
I see you.
Do we have audio?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
We do. I hear you.
We're here in my studio at home, and that on that wall, that's 18 Grammys. I'm gonna do my pump it up rap here about the A&R Trends panel, and then excuse myself because Mary J. Blige is coming over at 4 o'clock to sing her new record in my home studio here. I think that the New Music Seminar, which I was part of in the 80s, should be called the New Music Business Seminar, because we're in a revolution or resurrection, or however you want to refer to it. But at the core of it, the same, even though distribution is opened up to all forms of do-it-yourself, with all of the digital media that's available, and mentioning the standard Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, etc., and self-distribution, at the core of it, the same phenomena that existed from the days of Caruso making 78s, to Frank Sinatra, to Elvis, to the Beatles, to Bob Marley, to U2, to Nicki Minaj. The same thing continues, which is it all begins with a song and an artist with a viewpoint, whether that's a silly viewpoint that just happens to be like LMFAO, or something very meaningful and dark and beautiful like a Damien Rice. The spectrum is so wide, but at the core of it, the unique creation of some type of record that has resonance is still at the very core of every single person who is on this technology today and interested in this field that we're in of recorded music. It will never change. I call it the baking. Somebody has to bake the donut. We make the donut. The record producers, the songwriters, the engineers, the artists, the people who actually start and make it into the donut. And there's a million variations on that. And my role as a conductor of the movement, and also my role in the music industry, is I don't pass a lot of personal judgment on all the various forms of the donut. My role is now as a spirit guide to young artists and producers and managers and record companies, so that each artist, each donut, using the analogy, is made to have the most impact that it can and should within its correct artistic parameters. So that's a long way around of saying you need a hit, whether that's a artistic merit or of commercial merit or of curiosity merit or of novelty merit or of merit that comes with even having something that's limited, that doesn't reach a mass audience, but is still meritorious. Music and records have to raise their hand. The point is that we want them to be heard. We want them to be played in repetition. That's the beauty of what we do. That's the whole, going back to the Edison cylinder. It's all about the thrill of creating the familiarity, of playing a recording over and over again, learning the nuances, loving every aspect of it, and then seeing that artist perform live, maybe, or consuming the T-shirt or the merch or the subscription, the spiritual subscription you feel when you embody an artist, sign on to an artist like we used to in the old days when I first bought Tommy by the Who or Jackson Browne or even the Archies. I've always felt like I was part of something when I bought a record and played it a million times. So I'm kind of like find myself after 30 years in the record industry as an old country doctor. I make the diagnosis and suggest the cure on a lot of different musical problems that are handed to me. And I still love every minute of it. I still respect shit out of the creative process, and more than a lot of my contemporaries, I maintain, preserve, and elevate the covenant that exists between music, musicians, and records, and from the point of creation. So in conducting this movement at the seminar, what I want to do is inflame the room with disagreement so that each person's different approach is revealed and is provocative, and if not to answer questions, to certainly raise them and then at the end flip it back down and say and prove my point. So
Yeah.
Tom,
One of the other thing that's going to happen during this movement, in the last third of the movement, will be a discussion of the three finalists from the Artists on the Verge.
oh, this is going to be one of the great aspects, is that, yeah, Tom has empowered our panel to so-called pick a winner. And that'll be great, because you'll be able to, see how we chop up the Vegematic of musical decision-making among ourselves on the panel, and come to a conclusion of who is the most deserving of the finalists that have submitted their music. Which is, I
but
think,
you don't actually get, you aren't part of the vote. And the audience will vote through SMS voting, and the winner will win over $150,000 worth of prizes and valuable promotion and focus and services, and it's just an amazing thing that we've got this year.
It is amazing. And it's going to be great to be part of it. And for those of you who are just joining New Music Seminar for the first time, or maybe first few times, like back in the day, the New Music Seminar was religion for us. It was like where all the really hip shit went down. The bands from England, the New Wave movement, the punk, everything came to New York in those days in the New Music Seminar, and it was very, very valuable. It was a cultural stopping point. So Tom here is trying to, re-energize that and bring this community back together. And because we are at a frontier, we're in a new cycle of consuming entertainment and media. When I look at my 3-year-old sitting at the table mastering the app for Thor, and he's 3, I realize, and I tried it. I can't get Thor to jump over the flames. Thor's ass gets burned every time. My 3-year-old can. I realize, this is truly like a frontier of possibility, and the least of which is the electronic movement and the essentials, like you say, Swedish House Mafia or Skrillex or any of the guys who are practitioners in music created by quantization and pitch correction, which is a whole nother, metric of creativity compared to,
like hip hop was in the 80s.
Debussy or Ravel, who tried to do the same thing, but they had to do it with 48 guys with clarinets and bassoons. It's all comes back to the same thing. We make the donuts. That's what we do at our panel, at our movement. Sorry.
Well, thank you, Ron.
So I'm going to sign off, if you don't mind.
Ron,
see you all in New York. Thank you,
Mary J. For me.
She's about to walk in. I just got the email 5 minutes away. So look for her new
so
record.
I
It's
just
called
came.
Thank You. I think it's coming out tomorrow. It's called Thank You. That's her new song. It's a brand new song, and I think that we're going to cut it tonight and mix it tonight, and it's coming out tomorrow. It's called Thank You. And I'll leave with you with that thought. Thank you all. See you in New York.